Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. This is my summer series. We're going to be doing a series of short 10-minute or thereabouts videos looking at placements of planets in the 7th house. Now everybody's very intrigued by the 7th house because the 7th house correlates to other people and their role in our lives. It correlates to our marriage partners. It correlates to business partners. And when I say marriage partners, stepping back a little here, it correlates to people we commit to. So there's usually a written agreement or a contractual agreement, such as you buy a house together, you buy a car together, you open a bank account together, or you sign a marriage certificate together. These are the committed contractual agreements we see in the 7th house. So that is business partnerships, but it's also any committed type of personal relationships as well. Clients are also these contractual type of partnerships too. Someone pays you some money, they've therefore entered into a contract with you to provide a service as well. So these are the kind of realms governed by the 7th house, and of course they make a big difference and a big impact on how our lives unfold. So this summer, thanks for joining me, we're going to be exploring every Sunday for 10 minutes what it means to have one of these planets in the 7th house. So check out your chart. You can do so at astro.com, where you can bring up a chart, and in whole sign astrology you'll be looking for the house that sits exactly opposite your AC ascendant, and it will always have the DC point in it. The written letters DC will fall in your 7th house in whole sign astrology. So look for that DC, that's the descendant degree, and whatever sign that falls in is your 7th house in whole sign astrology. Well, let's get stuck into our look at Jupiter in the 7th house and what that means. I do love Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of growth, of abundance. He brings things to a larger, more massive extent wherever he goes in a chart. So we've all got Jupiter somewhere, and he's going to grow wherever it is that he's sitting in your chart for you. And here in the 7th house, obviously he's going to grow relationships for you. Jupiter in the 7th house is one of the indicators for having many relationships in life. So it doesn't mean lots of divorces, no, but it means you will have lots of opportunities to connect with people at a business level, at a client level, in a social scene, in a marriage relationship. So there are going to be multiple opportunities for you to have lots of positive, expansive, soul enlivening connections with others when you've got Jupiter sitting in the 7th house, this beautiful, beautiful planet. Now, Jupiter's not going to make you a Don Juan, where you've got men or women, depending on what you're oriented towards, dripping off you all over the place. It doesn't do that, but it gives you more opportunities, and it can bring relationships that are benevolent, that are expansive, that increase your worldview, that lift your soul, and it's through connection with others that you will develop faith, that you will develop wisdom, that you'll develop knowledge and insight when you have Jupiter in the 7th house as well. So you're going to get opportunities for more and more and more of that type of relationship come into your sphere as life goes on. The 7th house shows what our partners will be like, and when we have Jupiter in the 7th house, our partners are going to be expansive. They're going to be larger than life personalities. They're going to be jovial. They're going to be optimistic. They're likely to be very spiritual and possibly quite faith-filled as well. Now, that doesn't mean they're religious necessarily, because Jupiter governs the sign that has to do with religion, that's Sagittarius, but also governs the sign that has to do with spirituality, which is Pisces. So Jupiter might bring into your life people who have some kind of faith, some kind of belief, and these types of people can come into your life. This is if Jupiter is in good dignity and well supported with nice aspects and so forth. The one thing we need to watch out with Jupiter is for self-indulgence or being overly optimistic. This is a position that can show that your partners might get a bit podgy later in life. And I say this with a great deal of love. I have Jupiter in the 1st house, which indicates I might get a bit podgy later in life if I'm not careful. But when you've got it in the 7th house, it means that the other people you interact with, particularly your marriage partner, might put on a bit of weight later in life, unless they're being very careful and unless they've got other indicators in their chart. They also might be quite tall as well. That could be another way it plays out. So somebody who has a lot of height, lots of expansion upways rather than outways. Your partner might work in Jupiterian careers. They might be some sort of a guru or a counselor or an advisor, someone who teaches, someone who guides, maybe a preacher, somebody who works in fields to do with religion or culture, and maybe even cultural celebration as well. Some sort of coach or an academic maybe even as well. Jupiter is the guru, and you know, it correlates very much to someone who inspires others and motivates others and uplifts others. So coaches, life coaches, teachers, and so forth, these kinds of people. Your partner is going to be someone who introduces you to these things in life, the spiritual things of life, the higher wisdom, the higher knowledge, and the connection to the angelic realms. Your partner will be someone who brings those capacities into the relationship and teaches you about those things likely as well. Jupiter rules both the signs that correlate to other cultures and being overseas and travel. So it is possible that your life partners, including your business partners as well, and maybe even your audience members, people who maybe follow you online or your social media people and that sort of thing, will come from other cultures, other cultural backgrounds, or even from overseas as well. So you would actually benefit if you're looking for a partner and you have Jupiter in the 7th house. You'd benefit from going for a trip overseas, because you may very well meet your partner, particularly your first committed life partner, overseas in a foreign country when you have Jupiter there. Jupiter is the representation of positive karma in our life. You know, the results of the good things that we've done in past lives, or the good seeds that we've sown, maybe even in this life. And so when we have Jupiter in the 7th house, it means that the results and the rewards of our past life karma are going to come from others. And you will find that others will be very benevolent towards you, very kindly towards you, maybe very optimistic, might give you lots of opportunities for prosperity that come to your life through through partners. That can be marriage partners, but through your audience, through your business partnerships as well. You might even seem somewhat lucky as well. Jupiter is luck, being in the right place at the right time, everything just falling into place, landing on your feet, cat with 9 lives, all those sorts of things. Your partner in life may also seem quite lucky and fortunate. You know, they're always in the right place at the right time. They're like a cat with 9 lives. You know, luck just seems to favor them. Fortune seems to come follow them everywhere. That can be one of the manifestations of Jupiter in the 7th house as well, which is really, really nice, because ultimately that will bless you by being with somebody who is fortunate in that way. Partners with, when you have Jupiter in the 7th house, your partners may also be very knowledgeable, because Jupiter is knowledge and wisdom, and they might be knowledgeable about relationships. You know, they've just got an innate capacity to do relationships well. They understand other people. They can perceive where other people are coming from. They just get it, the relationship capacity. Now, you can be really good at bargaining, at business negotiations, at doing deals. You have this beautiful optimistic or personality that you can imbue into your business relationships when Jupiter is in the 7th house, and your business partnerships are going to be very beneficial to you and bring you a lot of success. So even though, you know, you don't have to partner with somebody in business to be successful, with Jupiter in the 7th house, you can find that success, it just flows to you easier when you collaborate with someone, because Jupiter is success and prosperity, abundance, it's wealth. So wealth can come through a connection and a collaboration. So don't discount working with someone else in business, or putting yourself out there in some way in connection with another person, in partnership with another person. You're likely to benefit more from doing that than from going solo. 7th house represents our audience, and of course with Jupiter here, it can make you very popular with your audience. You can be really successful with a broad group of people, and people from other cultures, as I said before, people from foreign places, and you can have a great deal of popularity and success with people from all over the place, actually. And of course, Jupiter represents expansion and growth, so your audience in life is likely to grow and expand, and sometimes quite suddenly. You know, if Jupiter in the 7th house gets a hit from a transiting planet, let's say it gets a trine from Uranus, your audience might just go boom and grow all of a sudden. Suddenly you've gone from, let's say, having 100 followers to sort of 1,000 followers overnight. And we can get this kind of momentum and this booming opportunity when Jupiter, the Jupiter in the 7th house, gets a transiting hit of benefit to it. So this can bring, like I've just said, expansion to clients, to relationships, expansion to partnerships of a business nature and a personal nature, and your audience as well. So lots of benefits to be gleaned from having Jupiter in the 7th house. Thanks for joining me to explore what it means to have Jupiter in the 7th house, and I'll catch you next week when we're going to look at Saturn.